Hello everybody. We are making a special dish. Now those are in water. That's not dirty water. That's actually some of the beef coming up off the meat. These are beef soup bones. Now you can either make soup with it, which I can make an awesome Mexican beef soup that my mom taught me to make, and it is amazing. That is not what we're making today. These are soup bones, and I have here a whole chuck roast, and this is a whole beef chuck roast. So the soup bones are underneath it. This barely fit because this is a small crock pot. This is not a big one. I've never used a crock pot to do this. I always use the oven, but I used it for that medicine, and the medicine came out great, so I'm going to use it for this. And there's a lot of water in there because I want a lot of soup, a lot of gravy, a lot of soup, a lot of juice. And I'll come back to you when it's done cooking, and I'll show you what we're going to do. And we're cutting up all of our carrots, our celery, our onion, and our garlic, and that's what is going to go into the chuck roast that is in the slow cooker. Now, most people make this with fresh produce. Now, I normally do too, but I have my ferment, and I'm using that. That's what all this is. I want you to listen to this crunch, you guys. Did you hear that? I didn't hear that one, but these are still crunchy. Even though they've been in here for 2 years, they're still crunchy and they're amazing, you guys. So I'm gonna finish cutting up the garlic, and then I'm gonna put all of this in there. That roast has been cooking since 9 o'clock last night, and it is now 4 o'clock the next day. It has been in there a long time, and it is absolutely wonderful. Look at this meat, you guys. Look at that. It's just, there's no salt. I put nothing in here. There's absolutely nothing in here. Okay? Nothing. Look at that. It just falls. It just wants to fall off the bone. Like, and those soup bones are in here. Soup bones you can use to do another meal instead of this. I just wanted all those flavors in there, you guys. With the marrow from the soup bones and all that. Okay, now we're going to put the vegetables in here. Before you do that, you're going to get a cup. You can use chicken stock, vegetable stock, whatever kind of stock you want. You use water. You're going to do half a cup of water or liquid to 2 to 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. You're going to mix that all up in that cup. Make sure it's cold. Hot will separate the flour or the cornstarch. Cold will not. Whisk it all up in there till it's all a liquid, and then slowly pour and stir in here, because that is going to give you that thick gravy. Now, if you want to do that on the stove with some oil and fry the flour and do all that, so many different ways you can make this thick, but you do want this to become a thick gravy, and that's how you do that. And we're going to add our vegetables. Now, those are all of my fermented vegetables. Not all, but y'all know what I mean. And these are red potatoes. What roast is any roast without your red potatoes? You could do russet. You could do whatever kind of potatoes you want. I just know that the red hold up a lot better in here than the russet or the Idaho. Any of those russet kind of potatoes, they're going to be like a mashed potato. They're going to be like a, I don't know. I just don't like the texture, and I don't like the flavor. These red ones, I love the texture and the flavor in a stew or in a pot roast. This is a stew, pot roast, call it whatever you want, but once it thickens, it's going to be just like a pot roast, and I have some rice going to put on the side or pour over. But I'm going to take some of this meat out because Jeremy won't eat this. I still have added no seasoning to this at all. No salt, no pepper, no garlic powder, no onion, nothing. We are going to put a teaspoon of each. salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. A teaspoon of each is going to go in here. Then I'm going to take out a chunk to make Jeremy, once the gravy's made, to make him his taquitos. You can make so many different things with food that is just amazing. You can even make tacos with this meat.
I don't understand why she can't show us putting in the seasoning. How come she just tells us? Isn't she teaching us how to cook? Why can't she show us putting the ingredients in? Well, that was rude.
So I took some of the meat out, made sure there's no fat in it, and I shredded it. Got some of your sandwich cheese and cut it into 12 slices. I got 12 tortillas. And alright, we got our taquitos going. So I got some of the meat from the roast, and I shredded it, made sure there's no fat or nothing, because kids that have disabilities, mental disabilities, regardless how great or how small, some have textural issues. He doesn't like gravies. He doesn't like anything wet. So what I do is I make sure there's no fat in it or nothing. Heat up 12 tortillas. I get just a regular cheese sandwich slices. There's 12 slices there, and I roll them up and fry them, and he loves it. And he won't eat roast because it's wet. He will not eat that. Okay. So I just, heating them up in a plastic bag in the microwave works best. He doesn't like most kids are not going to want you to put like a big honking chunk of meat in there. So don't do that. Put a thin layer of meat. You could do chicken, you could do beef. They'll eat anything. Kids with textural issues will eat anything, any kind of meat, as long as it's not wet and ow!
What happened?
Sparked at me. As long as it's not wet and it doesn't have fat in it. So if you get a hole in your tortilla, that's the edge you want closest to you. That's why I just turned that around, because there was a hole, and the back end will cover that hole up. These two started to open. So just kind of crowd them up there and they're fine. Whew, hot.
What, taquitos?
No, these are for Jeremy. He won't eat our food.
Okay.
I didn't take out enough for a whole bunch. Do you want taquitos instead of what I made?
Well, you can make them.
No,
No, I think you're making them.
Alright.
You're making like still for a sandwich, right?
Yeah. No. Oh my goodness, that's my Christopher. He's something else. He doesn't have no issues. He's a carnivore 100% through and through. He will eat anything. So
I don't eat anything too. I eat every meat.
you do not either. Get out of here. Well, then I will stop making these and I will pour you some rice and roast and you can have at it. How about that?
I mean,
Oh.
I'm talking about meat.
Well, yeah, I know you'll eat the meat.
Beef. Anything that is meat, I'll just chow it down.
I know you will. See, he'll eat the meat. Just it's how it's served, which most kids, you know. And don't trip if your tortilla busts open. Don't worry about it. It's gonna fry shut. You don't want to use that tortilla, well then throw it away. But I just know by experience that, see, they're starting to crack. Don't even trip. They'll be fine. Fine, fine, fine and dandy. Now if I'd cooked these on the other burner, they'd be done already. Because they don't take a long time. Y'all buying that Bounty? Spending all that money on that Bounty? Go get you some restaurant or some janitorial paper towels that will last you more than a couple of days. Oh, it's still soft, so I'm not going to turn it. I think I want to switch. Well, I'm almost done. It's getting hot. Do not drain it too much or the cheese will drain out. I would just pick these two up that are cracking and get them right in there so they start to seal. Don't mess around with one at a time and do all that or you're going to have a mess on your hands. They're frying too slow. I want to move them. That's better. Now this will cook them very, very, very quick once it heats up. I got about 3 more over here I'm going to make. I'm making his food quick because he's actually going to be leaving for church. It's youth night. They get together, they play basketball indoors, and then they get a Bible story and come home. So it's pretty cool. Now I'm always having to make Jeremy something else because, you know, he's not trying to be difficult. If I thought he was being difficult, he would eat our food and that'd be that. I just know his story, so I know that he's just not going to eat it. We've gone down that road with the trying to, that's all you're going to get, so eat it. Especially with the, what kid doesn't like mac and cheese? Well, this one upchucked it in the hallway. So, and he didn't do it on purpose. That's the thing. If I thought it was on purpose, I mean, we'd have some issues. But I know. You know your child. You know if it's on purpose. You know if he's being a brat. You know if he's being fussy. You know this. So, if your child is not being that way, and he has textural issues, why are you going to be mean to him? That's why I don't mind cooking separate meals for him, because I know he's not doing it just because I don't like that. I want this instead. He ain't like that. He's not spoiled like that.
You know kids.
No, I know you. And if that was an issue, believe me, that food would be put in his plate in front of him until he ate it. But he ain't like that. That's not, you know, and a lot of you have kids and y'all know your kids ain't like that. So you work the best you can, and you know you have that special child that you got to do something special for at mealtime. See how it came apart like that? It's fine. Don't worry about it. Just let it keep frying. It will get hard. It will close.
Some kids eat mac and cheese, and some kids don't. Not.
Most kids love mac and cheese. I love mac and cheese. Christopher loves mac and cheese. You do not. Just turn it on its side and just let it
do its thing.
Do its thing.
Thank you, Mama. What?
Oh, let me get this last one.
Yeah, I forgot that's my taquitos. They're my taquitos. I got church today, so I'm kind of in a rush.
Yes. Go get your shoes and socks on. You got about half hour. Okay, this one is done. It's crunchy. This one is done. It's crunchy. This is the one that had the rip. See? Had the rip. You're still gonna eat it, but it's crunchy. Some tortillas hold up better than others. When you first buy them, they hold up really well. But as time goes by, because I can keep tortillas 6 months out of the fridge, even longer. But the longer you keep them, that lard that they make them with is breaking down. So when you try and roll them, it gets a little bit more tricky, and they do start coming apart. But I mean, they're still fine. They make great tacos. If you fry your taco shells or tostada shells or whatever. But when it comes to softening them and rolling them, as the older the tortilla gets, the harder it is to keep them whole. All right, there you have it. All right, those are his taquitos, and he's gonna eat his dinner. Now, I'm making a little bit of garlic bread. I bought like about 40 of these at the Mennonite for like, I don't know, 50 cents a piece. But I don't want to go out to my cabin and get another one, so I only had enough for like a little bit. So all you do is put butter on it and a little bit of garlic powder, not salt, because this has salt. If you use fresh butter from your cow, then obviously you want to add salt. But I'm just going to put this on there and put some garlic powder on there and stick it in the oven, and we will have the same product. And yeah. Alright, don't mind the mess. I just did Chris Jeremy's taquitos. And I'm going to taste this. This is mine. And again, y'all know I like to eat out of a bowl. So this is what it's going to look like. I made rice, just plain white rice. I don't season it or nothing, just made white rice. And there is my beef stew, or pot roast, whatever you want to call it. And it's wonderful. I, however, like a lot of salt. I know, not good for you, but you can always salt at the table. Better to salt at the table than to ruin your food on the stove. Look at that meat.
Huh?
Nothing, I'm recording. He's like, huh? He heard the word meat. He wants more. He wants to make sure he has meat for sandwiches. See, I don't have a lot of meat in mine. It's mostly rice and vegetables in the sauce, the juice. That little bit of added salt in that. Now, what I didn't show you was that I diced up, after I took Jeremy's food out for his taquitos, I diced up some of these jalapenos. Now, I haven't fermented my own. I have my own jalapeno, garlic, and onion in there. I should have added that. I wasn't thinking, because I'd already opened this one. I just diced it up, threw some of the juice in there. So our stew is spicy. Not too spicy, but it is. Too spicy for Jeremy. But he's got chicken. I got chicken for him and everything to make taquitos, chicken nuggets, and all that stuff. But I know that Christopher is going to eat the majority of this food. So I made it spicy because me and him love spicy food. I can't eat a lot of the meat, but the vegetables and the rice, I can eat a lot of that. Christopher just dropped his entire plate of food on the floor in his cabin. And I gave him a big, huge chunk of meat. Alright. The other thing that you can do, you can make sandwiches out of it. You can make biscuits. You could put biscuits on a plate, kind of like chicken a la king, and just pour the gravy and the vegetables on top of that. There's so many versatile things that you can do with this meal that would just taste, it would be a different meal, but it would taste amazing. So this is the size plate Christopher will eat. and this is the size I will eat. Now, he dropped his all over the cabin floor, so I just made him another plate. He's the carnivore. He's going to eat most of the meat anyway, so I'm not tripping. Those of you that get upset and angry at your children for spilling milk, food, yes, right now it's a hard time. But guess what? My dogs can eat it. My chickens can eat it. I will save on their food. Somebody will eat it. It's not going in the trash, okay? Would I prefer it go down my child's throat, into his tummy? Yeah, but mistakes happen. Him and Jeremy are always spilling their food. I don't scream at them. I make them another plate. I will do without. I will give them my food. I can make me a cup of soup, okay? So if you're yelling at your kids over silly stuff like that, just imagine this. And if you don't believe in the Father, well then I don't know what to tell you. But just imagine this. The Father's looking down and he's watching you scream and yell at your child. And I do it to you all. I scream and yell at Jeremy sometimes, and I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? It was silly. But sometimes you just get frustrated, and you've got a lot going on, and then all of a sudden it just comes out, and then you think, what was I thinking? But so I'm telling you from experience. I'm not telling you because I'm holier than thou. I'm telling you because I am a sinner worse than y'all. Okay, and I do these things too. That's why I'm sharing them with you. When your children spill, like right now, when he's came in and said that, my first instinct was to think I gave him one huge chunk of meat out of that pan, and he just spilled it all over the floor. And the thought was instant, but the look on his face was that, can I have some more? It was because he's so hungry. He made a mistake. He spilt it. I can't serve it back to him because the floor is dirty. We live on a farm. So I have to make him another plate. He's hungry. I'm not going to let my child go hungry because he spilled a plate of food. So I didn't yell at him. So there have been times where I have over, for instance, maybe Jeremy. He knows we have animals. He will go and play his racetrack and he'll put his food on the floor. In his bowl or plate, whatever, as he's playing his Hot Wheels or whatever. We don't always sit at the dinner table, y'all. We just don't. And next thing I know, I see Aramis running through the house with his food. And Jeremy! So, and then I know I have to make him more food. I'm not going to not cook it for him. I'm not going to say, well, fine, you don't get to eat. I'm not going to do that to my child. I'm going to feed my child. But just think about it before you get upset with them over spilt milk. Just think about that. Just want to share that with you. Try this, you guys. You can make taquitos. You can make, put it over biscuits, over bread. You can make sandwiches. A lot of stuff you can do with this food, y'all. Try it. One last thing. My German Shepherd, my Aramis, my everything, when it comes to my animals, she also has itching. Yes, she does. She has allergies since we moved out here, and that's what I'm finding that I'm having. And I'm also finding that eating, you guys, I made this fermented stuff, but I had it in the fridge these last 2 years. Forgot about it. It was in the back of the fridge. And now that I'm fermenting again this year, I pulled all that out because I needed room in my refrigerator for the milk and stuff for the baby goat. And I saw it back there and I went, oh my goodness. So I pulled it all out. And I do ferment garlic and stuff, y'all, but I cook with it. When you cook with it, you kill it. I've never just gotten the garlic and eaten it like that. I did when I first started doing it once or twice, but that was it. Well, that was a long time. It was 2 years ago. So these last 3-4 days, I started eating the garlic and drinking some of the juice. And guess what? It cleans your gut. Remember in the video, the fermenting video, I told you guys that a teaspoon of that stuff or a piece of garlic is kills 1,000 of bad bacteria in your body. Everything starts in your gut. So if you're killing that, you're killing what is in your blood supply and all the bad bugs and everything, right? Well, my Aramis is itching too. And I started giving her this garlic, and she's not itching anymore, and neither am I. I am a little bit because I'm healing, but I'm healing. Like they're actually, these sores from scratching so bad are healing on me. And I don't want to say this is the everything and it's going to completely heal me, because I've done that before with other things, you know, and then it didn't heal me. But if these completely go away, which it looks like they are, then I will let y'all know. But I'm putting this fermented food in with my dog's dinners because it seems to be helping her itching. Y'all, I got so involved with making my dogs their dinner because they're going to get the food that Christopher spilled. Plus I put some other stuff. I put the fermented food in there that's going to really help their gut and help them, you know, from any allergies they may have or what have you. But in the meantime, I burnt my bread. Yep, I did. Look at that. The ends might be okay. That might be okay. I burnt my bread. It happens. The inside's eatable. My chickens will love it. How many people show their mistakes on YouTube? Not too many. And I'm not showing you because I'm proud of it. I'm showing you because things happen. You get busy. I get really involved with my animals and making their food and my kids and other things, and I forget. It was in the oven. I forgot. Had I been like a minute sooner, I would have caught it. Oh, gotta go.